Hello and welcome to the first episode of this season's Spreadex Six, brought to you by WhoScored. I'm your host George Elek and I'm joined by Jack Wright, who'll be giving us his Premier League season anti-post Spreadex Six shortly, where he'll be looking to buy and sell a player goal spread, a player assist spread and a team point spread as well. If you're new to spread betting and to Spreadex, I'll give a quick explanation now. If you were to buy a player's goals at 1 for £10 and he were to score 2 goals, then you would make 2 minus 1 equals 1 times your stake, 10. Similarly, if he were to score no goals, then you would lose 1 point times 10, so you would lose a tenner as well. Hopefully that explains it. We've got an exclusive offer, so stay tuned for that. You can find the details in the description below. But now it is time to look ahead to the 22-23 Premier League season. And your first selection here, buying a player who got off to a very good start in the Premier League last season.
Certainly, yeah. And first up is buying goals. Bruno Guimaraes, marquee signing for Newcastle last January, just snuck in before the deadline. And they kept him under wraps, didn't he? He didn't make his full debut until March the 10th. His first 3 substitute appearances yielded just 4 minutes. That first start against Southampton, bang, scored a goal on debut and never looked back. 11 starts between then and the end of the season, produced 5 goals. His data was fantastic, and I think he became an instant hero there, didn't he? And I think sometimes that can weigh on people's shoulders, but for him, I think it's going to actually inspire him and take him to the next level. Last season, 23 shots, 12 of which on target, producing those 5 goals. So some excellent ratios. That's a goal every 206 minutes. If he does continue that into the new season, happy days. He's going to hit this 7 line less than halfway through the season, about 16, 17 games in, we'll take
that. Absolutely, yeah, Bruno Guimaraes, you have to think as well, Newcastle are going to be a different proposition this season. Looking at the player you're going to be selling now, and it's a player who the line is 6 to sell and didn't hit that line last season, and you don't think he will this time around either? Absolutely
not, no. 4 goals for Daniel James last season for Leeds. Got enough starts as well, 29 starts. That was his record return as well. He's never got more than 4 goals in a season. And interestingly enough, all those 4 goals came under Marcelo Bielsa. Since Jesse Marsch took over, none. In fact, he didn't score any of the last 14 appearances for Leeds in the league. So if you can continue that into the new season as well. Thanks very much, Dan. Interestingly, he's also suspended for the first game of the season due to his disciplinary falling off a little bit of a cliff towards the end of last season. 7 yellow cards, 1 red card in the last 17 games. Wow. And he's completing that suspension in the first game of this season. And I just don't really see where he fits into this Leeds side at the moment. He's 29 starts last season, 15 were as a number 9 centre forward. Where obviously Bamford and Joe Gelhardt will kind of be the 2 fighting for that position this season. 7 on the left, where Jack Harrison is fairly nailed, I'd say. On the right, Rafinha's gone, but Luis Sinisterra's come in for £21 million from Feyenoord, so when fit would be the first choice there. And he had 2 appearances as a number 10, where Leeds have spent £25 million on Brendan Aronson. So, as I said, on the outside looking in, I see Daniel James, and he says he's not prolific either, so I'm happy to sell.
Yeah, with these player goal spreads as well, for the bet to stand, the player has to appear in 10 matches. So finding those players who might make the odd appearance as a substitute and selling them could be quite a smart way to go. So Dan James, the player goals sell, player assists now, exactly the same as the goals, buying and selling the amount of assists by a player over the course of the season. And you're looking to buy James Maddison, who probably won't be likely to go to the World Cup.
Interesting you should say that, yeah.
Well, a Norwich fan I know you are, so you're probably
close to my heart. Yeah. Close to my heart. Yeah, he's. I agree with you. I don't think he'll be making the flight to Qatar in the World Cup squad either. The bookies agree with us, 4-1 to actually get in Gareth Southgate's final squad. But that's a great news for us for this particular bet, because Leicester's last game prior to the World Cup, obviously the unique situation with the Premier League taking a break for the World Cup this season. The last game is on November the 12th, then the break, and then the first game scheduled after the World Cup is on December the 26th. So 42 days for Maddison to have a nice break, relax, rest, and come back firing in the new year. Last season, he put up his best stats, 28 starts, 2,468 minutes, 12 goals, and crucially for us in this bet, 8 assists, working out about 1 every 3.5 games. So, and he's got the guys in front of him, obviously, to finish off his good work. Jamie Vardy, hopefully he'll be fit for the season. Iheanacho, Patson Daka, and even Harvey Barnes as well. So I really like that line.
Yeah, buying 6 assists for James Maddison. And in the sell as well, a player who gets much maligned for his lack of goals, and you're going to have a go at him for his assist as well.
Well, kick a man while he's down,
yeah.
eh? Yeah, his problem's been well documented, and I think just looking at the stats, we can see kind of where his career at Chelsea's going. I'm hoping he's going to get those qualified games before he's possibly ejected out. But season 1, 2,600 minutes, 6 goals, 8 assists. So you'd think, the alarm bells are ringing that he might well be able to go well above the line, which is 3.25 for his assists this season. Last season, 1,286 minutes, so virtually half the game time, albeit injuries were included in that, but I also think Tuchel's not quite bought into him. 4 goals and just that 1 assist. Scratch the surface though, and that assist for the season, his XA, so his expected assist was 0.32. So it's thanks to Tony Rudiger with a goal against Tottenham that he's managed to even scrape that 1. Only 4 outfield players had a lower XA than Werner for Chelsea last season. 3 centre-halves in Trevor Chalobah, Thiago Silva and Andreas Christensen, and the much maligned Saul in midfield. His actual XA per 90, Werner's, was only worsened by 2, and his XA per 90 was 0.02. So I'm going to sell.
Selling Timo Werner at 3.25. Time to get on to the season point spreads as well now. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, there is an exclusive offer for Spreadex Six viewers. You can find a link in the description. And that is a £10 free season points bet. So these ones, Jack, the guys can hopefully get a bit of an offer with as well. And firstly, you're looking to buy a team last season who had an unbelievable first campaign under Patrick Vieira, buying Crystal Palace at 46 points.
Absolutely, yeah. 46 points the line. They hit 48 last season. As you said, Vieira, not 1 second of Premier League experience as a manager coming into it.
Player, yeah.
Plenty as a player, yeah. And I think he's going to, is he going to follow that up as a manager as well? Had to change identity, complete philosophy, bringing new players in, ripping up what was there under Roy Hodgson and completely changing it round, whilst also being tasked with making sure they stayed in the Premier League, which he did with aplomb. And as you said, 48 points last season. So if you do take that offer with Spreadex on here, you'd be pocketing £20 as a result of if they match that this season. But if we scratch under the surface and look at the underlying data, last season only the top 4 and Brighton lost fewer games than Crystal Palace's 12. And Achilles' heel really was the fact they drew 15, which was a league high. So if they can turn some of those draws into wins, we'll be certainly looking to get a nice points tally by the end of the season.
If you were to use your £10 free bet, buying Palace's points at 46, and they were to get the same as they got last season, 48, then you'd be getting £20. So that is the way to play this. And of course, if they do drop off, given it's a free season points bet, you'll be absolutely fine in the with nothing done and nothing lost. On then to the sell, the final one of your Spreadex 6, your pre-season Premier League Spreadex 6. And just when Everton fans thought that they'd survive, they could look forward to brighter things under lamps and the rest of it, you're here to say that they are destined for another relegation scrap.
Another
selling
season,
43.
Yes. Sell at 43, 39 points last season, which just basically was a terrible campaign. Just about crossed the line at the end, mainly thanks to Richarlison. His 10 goals last season was twice as many as any other Everton player got. He also topped their assist charts with 5, and then they promptly sold him 60 million quid to Tottenham, and they've not reinvested that in any kind of replacement. Well, they lost 21 games last season, which was only worsened by Norwich and Watford, the bottom 2, and they were woeful away from home, which has really caused them a massive problem. They just picked up 10 points on the road. The change of style as well. Will Lampard stick with that this season? Obviously go into more direct route, playing the percentages, lack of possession, or will he go back to his kind of DNA, which I think could be a recipe for disaster with the squad that he's got there. He's already gone on record this season after getting hammered 4-0 by Minnesota as saying that his team needs to be better and that he needs to be better, or they will be in another relegation dogfight. I expect them to be. And when Meatball Molly says that you've let them down, you know you're in trouble.
Absolutely. Thank you very much to Jack for his Spreadex 6, the pre-season Spreadex 6, ahead of the new Premier League campaign. We'll be back here every single Thursday to look ahead to the Premier League fixtures and get another Spreadex 6 ahead of that as well. So do subscribe to the WhoScored YouTube channel. Do check out Spreadex for all of your betting needs ahead of the season and during it as well. As I say, look in the description for the link for the exclusive offer, a £10 free point spread bet.